Today, I'm going to be talking something that is so important and that is vital to any homeowner that participated in the forbearance program. So if that is you and you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know what the after effects is going to be of this forbearance program once it's over, stop what you're doing, watch this video because it can make or break you. I'm going to try and break this down into very simple verbiage because everything that I've learned has been very complicated and very confusing. So I want to make sure this is as easy to understand as possible. So what is a mortgage forbearance? So a mortgage forbearance is pretty much allowing you to put a pause on your mortgage payments so you can go 6-12 months without not paying a single payment towards your mortgage. Right now, there are 1.7 million people that participated in that forbearance program. The mortgage forbearance was enacted to help people throughout the COVID pandemic, those who were struggling financially or those who got sick and couldn't go to work, those who lost their jobs because, businesses all across the country were shutting down because they couldn't handle the massive shift in the way businesses had to be ran. There's a multitude of reasons of why this program was brought out to essentially help people, but now we're figuring out that it might have not been as helpful as they portrayed it to be. So there's a few different proposals on how the lending companies and the government is going to handle the forbearance coming to an end and people having to pay back those loans. A lot of people didn't know that they have to pay that money back eventually, whether it's in a lump sum or whether it's monthly payments. If you qualified for the CARES Act forbearance program initially, you actually did lose your job, you actually were struggling financially, your business actually did take a loss, then you won't have to pay it back in a lump sum. They're thinking you can pay it back monthly. One proposal that might entice someone to keeping their home and not having to foreclose or move or sell or whatever is a loan modification, much modifying the loan that you have. What they're thinking of doing is instead of requiring that you pay that lump sum of the forbearance payments that you missed, is wrapping that lump sum to the end of your loan and stretching out the loan up to 40 years. With that being said, you're making your loan longer, which means you're paying more interest and you're paying less towards the principal. Well, the effects, as you can imagine, is not going to be good for most average middle class families, middle class homeowners. So the effects could be a mortgage crisis, a housing crisis, or a recession, or all of them. The CFPB believes there might be a wave of COVID foreclosures. The CFPB is an independent government agency. I say independent because it's funded by the Federal Reserve. It's supposed to be non-political. It's supposed to be, not having any political ties from the executive branch, but Joe Biden appointed one of its lead actors. Is it really for the people? Is it really convoluted or is it not? I'm gonna go with it is. So one of the main effects that's gonna impact homeowners is that some of these people aren't going to be able to pay back in a lump sum or even monthly. Some people may still be struggling with COVID. Some people may still be out of a job. Some people may not have recovered financially to where they were before COVID. If you can't afford to pay back those forbearance payments in a lump sum or even monthly, then if you don't pay your mortgage, you're gonna get foreclosed on. So the average foreclosure is gonna cost the homeowner an average of 12.5K. And a result of that home being foreclosed on, the nearby surrounding homes are gonna lose value from 1% to 1.6%. So if you're thinking that, oh yeah, that sounds great, let's just put those payments that I missed on the back end of my mortgage and extend the mortgage term. It sounds like a good idea and it would be a temporary fix. It would be kind of like just sweeping it under the rug, not really fixing the problem. That's scary because the average homeowner moves every 7 to 10 years. So after that 7 to 10 years, either you want to move up, move down, move out of state, relocate, whatever, you get a new job. If you have a 40-year term mortgage, the longer period is going to be more interest that you're paying, which means you're paying monthly more to your interest as opposed to your principal. So let's say in 7 years you want to move, you want to sell your house. Meanwhile, throughout those 7 years, you've been paying mostly to your interest, not to the principal. You get to the closing table and you might not have the funds to close. You might have to bring cash to pay the rest of your mortgage to be able to close. Well, that's all the facts that I have to present with you. Now I want to give you my opinion, and you can agree or disagree. I just want to share my thoughts, and hopefully you will leave your thoughts in the comments below. I think that one, the lending companies, the government, they all should have clearly laid out what the forbearance was, because a lot of people, you know, myself included, if someone tells me I don't have to pay my rent this month, I'm not gonna pay my rent this month, you know? So I think that they presented this pretty picture without giving you the grand scheme of things and what it's gonna mean. A lot of people thought it was essentially just free money that they got to keep for themselves and they could spend elsewhere, and not really saving some money each month to eventually have to pay that back. So I think that that was a huge fail on the government, shocker, and you know, the people at the top making all the money off of these loans. So I think one, they're at fault for not clearly instructing people on what this is gonna look like in the end from start to finish. I also think that they should just forgive those payments, like just genuinely let it go. I mean, we print money every day. Like, why can't they just like let these people, let Americans who have already struggled enough throughout COVID, you know, clearly we're just printing money out of their ass, like they're printing money out of their ass. They would survive if all these people they just let those payments go. That's my opinion, but I'm very like, everything should be free. I shouldn't have to work. Like, we should just like be people living lives on this earth, and no one asked to be born. I'm really scared for what's gonna happen. No one knows what's gonna happen, myself included, you know, the people that I work with. Everything is up in the air, and the people that are gonna be most affected are going to be middle class, lower middle class, poor Americans, people who cannot afford already their current lifestyle. This is gonna affect a lot of people, and it's really scary. I've met so many people that are struggling, you know, and they either want to be a homeowner or they want to get out of it, they want to move, or they want to sell, and it's very confusing. I really love my job because I get to guide people, I get to explain to them how buying a home isn't as difficult as it may seem. Even if it is difficult, you have someone like myself that can guide you through the process and make it easier and explain it in layman's terms for you to be easily digestible and easily understandable. A lot of people just don't know these things. I'm really scared for the people who are going to get affected most. If you are a homeowner and you participated in this program, do your best to learn up on this and prepare yourself, because the people at the top are not looking out for you. They're not looking out for us. Just prepare yourself as much as you can. Learn about this, stay up to date. I might post some more videos about this, so if you'd like me to stay on top of this and update it for you, again, having a guide, guiding you through this and explaining it, because it's my job, so I'm gonna learn about it anyway. So if that's something that you guys would like me to continue to do, I can definitely do that. Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.